What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? A 19-year-old New York City girl is going viral after she was blasted and dragged all over the social media streets by none other than her grandmother, who learned that she had been making extreme adult videos. The 19-year-old, who has been identified as Rachel Perry, was slapped and beaten by two white men who also called her racial slurs. In fact, they called her everything but a child of God. Man, they did her dirty, fam. I mean, they was sticking their hand all in her, jacking her up by her private parts. And, oh, man. Boy, they did her bad, fam. I mean, they talked to her real dirty and they did her dirty. Rachel, who appears to be a very troubled young woman, went on social media and bragged about receiving $2,000 for her performance on GETO Gaggers. Rachel said, "At the end of the day, I don't give a F who's seen anything. I got paid almost $2,000 for that video. You think I give a F? And then y'all still paying to watch it, so you must like my freaky ASS." All right, Rachel. All right. I see you on the defense. Rachel's grandmother caught wind of the video and she dropped a post of her own. She disowned Rachel. She told her, "Hey, I'm disowning you, and so is the rest of the family." The grandmother got hold of the video after a cousin sent it to her. The grandmother is 68 years old. She said she's never been so embarrassed in her entire life. The grandmother said that Rachel was acting like $2,000 was a lot of money. How much does one soul cost? How much does a soul cost? What's a soul hit going for these days? See, because that's how you really got to look at it. Rachel don't care about her family. She don't care about embarrassing her family. And I don't know what it is, what she's been through. Everybody got their own story. But perhaps Rachel was a victim of sexual assault, which happens in most cases like this. Of course, sometimes you just have some women are just super freaky and they just want to get their freak on, and they were raised right and had everything they wanted. Which, by the way, the grandmother said that Rachel was raised where she had everything. The grandmother said gave everything she wanted, and sometimes that could be a problem. Man, this kid stuff is very difficult, fam. This trying to raise your kid things is very difficult because you can be the absolute best parent and have the greatest intentions, but you're not going to get it right all the time. And it could be that one time. That's all it takes. And those kids will go off the railing. It could be one time. This is why it's very important the way you talk to your children. Some parents, they don't believe in discipline. They don't believe in physical punishment, which is not my first choice either. I'm not with that. I'm not about all of that. Yeah, I know some kids need it, whatever, but if you have to turn to like hitting on your kids, if that's your first choice, you're doing something wrong. And if you have to do it frequently, that you're doing something wrong. So, and not to say that you don't care, whatever, you're not trying to do the right thing, but sometimes some kids really do have mental issues. And you have to go beyond what you're capable of doing. You gotta get some help. You need help. But moving on, don't know what her situation was, but we know something happened along the way to make her click like that, to make her want to do something like that, to make her want to humiliate herself like that. I mean, these dudes was But it was brutal. It was slapping her, punching her. You know, they were, man, they violated her. They did her something bad. But the thing is, fam, she signed up for it. It was kind of like, you know, a boxing match. Somebody get their head knocked off. They signed up for it. You know, she signed up for it. But it's still just cringe-worthy watching somebody allowing that to happen to them. It's mind-boggling to see it. They did her bad. I mean, bad. And, you know, to have a family like that, you have to especially if you have really like have a loving family and a family that really did their part. And you just jump out there and just say, well, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't care about the family. I don't care about no respect, you know. Because I just believe like, once you give life, life is bigger than yours. And once you live life, life is bigger than yours. Like when you have a family, there's certain things that you don't do. You may want to do it, but there's certain things you don't do to protect your family. You know, from embarrassment, from shame. You did, from being disrespected themselves, from having to answer these difficult questions that nobody really have the answer to. So I just feel like when, you know, you just get on code. It's about being on code. Just like we talk about being on code socially, you have to be on code as a family unit. When you're on code and you have structure, then you have boundaries. And there's certain things you're just not gonna do because that's not gonna look right. You know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, as a parent, there's certain things that you don't do that you might want to do, but you're not going to do because you don't want to embarrass your kids. You don't want to make your kids look bad. So you don't do it. See, to me, that is a kind, loving, considerate parent. Some parents think, well, it's my life. I'm the parent. I do what I want to do. You do what I say, not as I do, and all this type of stuff. That don't work. But they think it works. They really do think it works, but it don't work. But then, by the same token, you got children who should have that same consideration for their parents. I'm not going to do this because this is not going to be a good look for my family. That's why I'm very particular about the type of woman I would date. I wouldn't date a chick who put her business out in the streets. Because she put her business out in the streets, she'll put mine out. I only mess with chicks who got respect for their family. They wouldn't dare do certain things because it's going to make their family look bad, right? It's going to be a knock on their family. So certain things they won't put out there because it's not just about them. They know it's bigger than them. It's about family also. Those chicks that don't give a damn about nothing, they be having that I don't give a fuck attitude and I do what I want to do and just say what I want to say. Those type of chicks, you got to watch out for those type. Yeah, fam. And a lot of times those dudes see those type of chicks coming from a mile away, but they will still engage. It's some dude right now, somewhere, watching that video of old girl and saying, I'd wife her. She'd make a good mother. I'm telling you, fam, some dude somewhere. Oh, they'll wife her. Guaranteed. This is just awful. It's always a bad look when you see somebody who's disowning a family member, right? But I want to ask that question, fam. If this was your daughter, your sister, your family member, would you disown her after knowing that she's getting down like that? One more thought. Oftentimes in America, I'll hear people talk about what they'll do for money, how low they'll go to sacrifice their integrity. In Rachel's case, for almost $2,000. This black woman allowed two white men to call her racial slurs, beat her, slap her, stretch her vaginal walls, and dump buckets of semen on her face. Some of y'all will do anything for money. Some of you are just like Rachel. Anything for money. Oh man, that man get his money, man. You mean to tell me you'll turn down $50 million? You mean to tell me you wouldn't do that for $3 million? Man, I'd do it for $100,000. I'd do it for $10,000. See, some of y'all do anything for money. So I am going to leave you with the same rhetorical question Rachel's grandmother, Brenda Miller, left her. She used the number 2000. You can replace that number with whatever number that works for you. Let's see if that $2,000 can ever help you gain dignity and respect. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?